My nose is bugging me. Okay, we're back, and we're also back on Rumble. So every so often, it's kind of weird because they seem to do it kind of at the same time almost. But both YouTube and Rumble will somehow disconnect, and it will air out. It won't tell me when I get on that it's been disconnected. So I have to start streaming, and then something goes wrong, and then I have to keep reloading it until it tells me that it needs to be reconnected. So Rumble wasn't working, and I had to reboot my computer and everything. So now everything is working, everything is going good. Now we can start on the thing. You know the thing. You know the thing. Dev stuff. Actually, let's go to favorites because I put that in favorites. Kind of quick to start that up, and we're going to start it up. And I don't remember exactly where I'm at, so you're gonna have to bear with me while I figure this out. Here, let me refresh restream so it's up to date, and I'll probably go out of date again here in a second. But now we're up to date, and hello chat, hello chat, and everything's working cool. Everything's working fine. And let's just go ahead and play this one. Wait a second, is it run current scene? Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, right. So I think what I was going to do is I was going to have it save. Okay, so in order to save zoom level, all right. So the first thing I actually want to do is okay. So I separated, if I remember right, I separated the metadata. I actually have it in a separate folder now, layout tool data. So that's all the metadata, and I renamed the files from meta to .metadata.json so that the Redot engine would recognize it as a JSON file, which is what it is. Um, so I think where we're at is I need to be able to save the zoom level and the camera position, I think. And I have that kind of set up, but I haven't done anything yet to that effect, I think. I think it doesn't do anything right now. Um, Now, there's going to be it's not really an issue exactly, but there's going to be a thing where, um, let me think. Um, I'm going to need to save it. I'm going to need to be able to save it when I hit save data. That'll save the position and if I don't already have it done, that is. So in the save data function or in the save button function, it will save the position, camera position, and the zoom level. And then whenever you load it up, it'll load that up, which is not that hard to do. But I also have to think about whether or not it's going to do that in the editor, which they're tool scripts right now, which means they do stuff in the editor. So really, what I want is I want the camera position, which is actually a separate object. There we go. Layout camera. So it's going to save layout camera position, and it's going to save layout camera zoom in the file, and then when I load up, it's going to reload the layout camera. Now, I'm not sure where I was here. This is still open. Let's close that. Uh, create new meta file. All it did was meta extension, room extension. that thing, sort of thing. Layout tool directory. I think that's all I did. Here, let's go ahead and pull up. I think I was still I was working with Chat GPT again. I think I stopped using Grok for a little while. Um, I kind of actually tend to kind of like the way Chat GPT does it better a little bit. I don't really like the personality where it's like everything you did was like super great and stuff, but I do like the fact that it switches to another it switches to another model once your free time's up on like GPT-5, and um, then it switches to another one, and then it kind of does that sort of thing. The only problem with GPT is if I want to put anything like an image or a document or something for it to scan and analyze, it shuts down pretty quickly after that. Like you can only do it a little limited number of times, and then it's only a few minutes, and it seems like it's like your free stuff it is hits up. Okay, now this will use another model, but if I uploaded an image for it to analyze or had it generate an image, it would say I needed to start a new conversation. In fact, maybe that's a problem. This says it uses another model too, so that's good. This other one, this tools script tool help. Okay, so did I mention where I was? Okay, I actually should tell it. Even though it should be able to decipher the fact that it's a new day next week. So, new week. It's now Monday, September 8th, 2025. Since I've been gone away for a week, could you tell me where I am about now? Maybe it'll tell me, hey Rick, thanks for showing up. Going to be more of that going forward, I think. They're losing money hand over fist. What, Restream is losing money, or Rumble or YouTube is losing money? I don't see Rumble going away anytime soon. Although they still not, to me, they're still not very mainstream. They're more like political stuff. They do have a lot of streaming. Um, YouTube is still kind of the best when it comes to just general streaming videos. So, or just general videos in general, not the streaming so much. But Rumble is slowly gaining some traction. Oh, AI companies. Oh yeah, yeah. That's what you meant, of course. Because I was just talking about that. Yeah. Well, Grok's kind of interesting. Grok just allows you a certain amount of I don't know. Grok seems to have allow more stuff when I upload images and stuff. It doesn't seem to differentiate. In other words, I could have generate images or upload documents or stuff as long as I'm on the free thing. Then when I'm done until a certain time period. ChatGPT will actually switch models, but if I upload anything to it, then it will shut down quickly, and I'll have to start a new conversation in order to use the other model. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I still don't see like a great, like super improvement. Like I can't tell it to go make me rich and then have it tell me to what I can do to become rich. It just doesn't do that. Supposedly, like Grok, the newest version of Grok was supposed to be like PhD level, right? It's supposed to be so good. Now that's Grok 4, and I guess to in order to really use it, I'd have to actually be subscribed, but I don't have the money to do that. But from what I've seen from Grok, I've had X Premium for a month or two, and Grok didn't seem to do that much better than it does normally. It's all right for chatbot. It can help you out a little bit, but it's nothing like nothing like super intelligence. Now, I know it's not super intelligence like the actual definition of what they're defining. I just meant nothing as good as they keep saying that it is. It's just it's kind of average to me. I expect I don't know. I expect when I ask one of these to help me out figuring out how to get more viewers on streaming on say YouTube, that it would have some definite good decent strategies, and it's kind of generic strategies, working your thumbnails, be more interactive. Well, a lot of this stuff has to do with you already have viewers, and so you interact with them to help keep the engagement up, but nothing that says if you do this, you're going to get a ton of viewers, and it just doesn't happen. Anyways, it's still just a tool, kind of a basic tool, so I still use it. Let's recap where your layout tool and camera system are as of now. You have a layout camera class, handles smooth middle mouse panning and zooming. Zooming now behaves either around the mouse point or viewport center, depending on which approach you want. Zoom was stored in the camera built-in property. Okay, I get that. Saving loaded. You decided to store the camera state and room position separately from the room JSON files in a dedicated folder that had data. Right, metadata files now use a safer extension, likely the metadata.json, to avoid conflicts with .meta. You're working code to generate JSON string for camera position, and do I have that code? I have to look through my code to see if I have that. You also notice that create new meta file is probably redundant and can be merged into the save function, but you haven't done that cleanup yet. Room layout 2 displays rooms as panels, draws door connections as lines, room position and saving metadata files. Okay, got it. You haven't implemented selection or movement of rooms yet. Right now it's mostly visualization, folder structure and loading. JSON files for the actual room stay in /room. Metadata files go into layout tool data. Loading logic checks for existing metadata files, creating default ones. Saving loaded camera shape to and from metadata files, possibly clean up merging redundant metadata creation, save functions. Implementing room selection and movement in the layout tool eventually. Maybe adding a save button to the UI to trigger camera and room metadata saves. So basically, your layout tool is functionally visual with panning and zooming working. Metadata structure mostly in place. Okay, so short next step roadmap. Now that's okay. We got it. I'll look into possibly merging those functions before actively working on saving camera data. I'll be back in a few moments. And I'm not really going anywhere. I'm just telling it that I'm gonna go look into here. Okay, so create new metadata, create new project files, save metadata for room. Okay, so let me look and kind of go through what exactly these two functions do. And they basically do the same thing. In fact, I only have the one save room data for room. I don't have create room data for room or anything like that. Let's see something here. Do I have room position? That's not what I want. Let's see. Let me type position dot x, and let's just find each of those. That position, camera, get camera state JSON. So we did do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and find this. I want to just make sure first. Okay, create new project file, file name. Okay. All right. See if I got that anywhere. Okay, so I didn't actually get to that part. I didn't get to the actual create new project file. Oh, because I was going to do that. Okay. Um, I'll leave that alone so I can merge this. I'll merge this first here. Okay, so metaname equals file name. If file name ends with room extension .json, then metaname equals file name. Replace room extension with meta extension. Um, and these are commented out because those were the old lines, and the new ones work just fine. So I can actually delete this. I believe. Oh yeah, I forgot that I am actually start putting semicolons. I haven't done it to all of them, but I'm starting to do the semicolon thing. Just I know it's kind of makes it look more like C, as if I'm trying to change the language here, but I want it formatted the way I expect it to look, and so although I'm exposing the source code on GitHub, uh, I'm not doing it for them, so they'll look at it. Maybe they'll just maybe people want it. They just think it's weird or something. So I don't really care that much if somebody um good rubber duck for bouncing ideas. Yep, exactly. That's actually what I use it for primarily. Okay, so we just have it replace the room extension. So if a file name gets passed into create new meta file, which was happening for a while, it actually replaces the extension. And the new meta extension, of course, is .metadata.json. If not file access file exists, layout tool data directory plus meta name. Then var meta file equals file access open meta name file access right. If file access get open area is equal to OK, metadata equals that store stringify metadata, and meta file close. Okay, awesome. I don't have the zoom, do I? Oh, that's right. I was starting. Okay, so what I was starting to do was I was starting to make something that works just like get camera state. Okay, all right. Let me think about this for a sec. Oh. What am I thinking? Yeah. Okay. I need to ignore that. Create new project file just for right now. I'm gonna call it something different. It'll be like save camera data or something. Save project file or something. Eventually it'll be like you might have like you start a new project. I might make it to where you can actually just make different games with it if you want to. But so it's gonna be it's called a project file. And the project file right now is just gonna uh, be filled with the camera data right now. Later on, it'll be like all the metadata for each of the rooms will be stored in one file. Do all the stuff like that, but that's a little far down the line. Okay, so what this does is it creates a new file. If it creates it successfully, right? If the file doesn't exist, it creates the new file. Then it stores 00 into the data. Then it stores that as JSON into the file, and then it closes the file. Now, save metadata for room. What it does is and I don't really need to do it. I can just merge this. But okay, so we got a new thing. Metapath equals layout tool, data directory plus file name, right? If file access file exists, metapath file equals file access, and it just opens. So if it exists, it opens it to write. Now the thing is this does the same thing up here, right? So strictly speaking, I don't need to check if the file exists. It will create it if the file exists. If it doesn't exist, it will create it anyways. Still, so it will just open it if it does already exist, right? If it's okay, metadata equals room position X, room position Y. Um, Store string could open file for writing, else create new meta file. Okay, this isn't going to be very hard to merge, but for me, it's kind of involved because my brain does not think in computerese. It just doesn't. So I'm going to okay. Um, okay. Now, for me, it's just involved in my head. So it's going to open it anyways, whether it's there or not. So if it's not there, it'll create it. If it is there, it will open it. Now, what I can do here is I can create um, I can create some variables for the positions, for the room positions. It was the various text services you used for streaming deving. Um, I don't have a list. All I'm using is OBS, and I'm using Restream to stream to both YouTube and Rumble. So it's just Restream.com. They have their own streamer thing, their own software, or I guess. Anyways, it's their own interface, or you can use something like OBS. I'm just using OBS, and it's an older version of OBS on Linux. So OBS and Restream. So that's pretty much all I really use for streaming. So hopefully you're watching this and that answered your question. I'm still a little bit weird because I like over here and then I feel like I should type something in there, but really it's because you're watching it. And so, anyways, yeah, all I'm using is Restream and OBS. So, hope that helps, anyways. Okay, so I should create a variable and then yeah, save metadata for room. Let's see how many we're create new meta file. Let's do a search for that. That's in save metadata. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do something here, which may be okay. Let's go to GitHub desktop and let's okay. Um, Added room. Just commit it. It doesn't really matter if I commit this or not. I'm just doing it just to make sure everything is clean. The next thing I'm also going to do is I am going to. Okay. I'm going to do the old-fashioned way. And that is create new meta file. That's fine. And we're going to say file access file exists meta path. And strictly speaking, I don't even need to do that. I don't need to ask, check if the file exists if I'm if I'm reading that right. I don't need to check if a file exists, correct? It will just create a new file if it doesn't exist and open it if it does. Correct? Correct? Oh, so Pero wasn't watching the stream, so yeah, I just have to. You don't need to check first. If the file doesn't exist, we'll create it automatically. If the file exists, it will be open for writing and overwritten. You can safely just call open in write mode and then start a string. No prior existence check is needed unless you specifically want to prevent overwriting. And overwriting is just fine. And create and still read the file if needed, but for simple save operations, write is sufficient. Yeah, because it's going to it opens. Let's see. Actually, save metadata for room. I don't know where I actually load the data, the metadata for room. Anyways, okay, so let's do the thing here. So the thing is oh, what the heck? Is I copy this, and I just do this kind of for safety's sake here, and we'll call it old instead of 2. Like I usually put a 2 at the end, but we'll call it old. And that way that still exists. And then in this case, I can just go ahead and I can go ahead and take this out here too, like this. Metapath equals file equals open if file access is equal to OK. Now, the one thing that I do want to do though is I want it to save the proper position. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna say var room x equals room dot. Wait a second. Let's do a little defensive. I'm not sure if that's okay. Let's do it this way. Var room x equals 0. Var room y equals 0. If room, then room x equals room dot position dot x. Room y equals room dot position dot y semicolon. Okay, and then just make sure the room is there, and if it's there, then we add the positions, and that's pretty easy. And then here, I just change this out for this. Whoops. What did I do? I don't know what I did. Where's the underline? Now I'm lost. Where is my underline? How come I'm not seeing it? How come I'm not? Okay, there we go. My brain just stopped working for a second. Okay. All right. So what I am going to do, create new meta file, create new meta file. And you don't create new meta file with save metadata for room. Put this in old. Everything is good. Okay, let's go to 2D. And first thing I want to do is, hopefully nothing is going to flub here, but we're going to go ahead and, actually let me go ahead and open up, open a new tab. Let's go ahead and go to rooms. Okay, rooms is fine. Actually, we're going to go back over here. We're going to open layout tool data in a new tab. And then we're going to go back into rooms. That. So layout tool data. Main menu. Okay, we got that. And then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save it once. So everything should look and seem normal. So hopefully it will. So let's save room data. Okay. Saved. Okay. And all right. Now let's look at the files real quick. Everything looks cool here. I don't know why it does this weird. Okay, so if I go scroll up really fast, it'll have some of these names, and they'll be like weird numbers and stuff, like they're like it's Linux's own metadata or something. And then but then it'll be gone as soon as I stop. Okay. 212 is because I put that readme in there, which doesn't strictly need to be in there, but I needed to do that to for a reason. I forget what the reason was. Okay, so everything looks good. So let's go ahead and add a new room plus here at the new location. And let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and save room data. That. Now let's go ahead and go to see new location. Open that up here. Nothing there, which is fine. And then we go over here and metadata, and that's the metadata there. Now, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and reload, project reload, scene reload, save scene, reload, save scene. Okay, so everything is good. It's still there. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to delete the metadata. I'm not going to delete the file, so we're going to delete the metadata. Delete location metadata.json. New location. Okay. Delete. Okay, that's okay. Because now I'm going to go ahead and reload, and it should put the new location back up here. It doesn't delete it because the other file is there. Okay, so let's reload save scene. And there's new location right there. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll click save. Let's put this up here, and so we'll just put down here. We'll put save room data again, and then what I'll do is this. We're gonna go ahead and delete it again. Delete, and then we're gonna go to this, and we're gonna delete that. delete, and we're gonna scene, reload, save scene. Should be gone. Reload, save scene, and it's gone. Excellent. The rooms are still there. Everything's still there. Okay. Now, what's next? All right. Let me check, make sure everything is good here. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Have I said okay enough yet? Okay. Okay. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to go back into, I guess I could leave GitHub up. We're going to, oh, just because I moved it. Yeah. Minor update. I should say inconsequential update, because it is inconsequential, because all I did is just move it around. Okay, but we're going to do this ways, and okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is create new meta file. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to comment it out. Okay. That. Where was that at? Oh. Let's just go ahead and do the same thing with this. Control K. And Bob's your uncle. Control S. Okay. And we'll go to 2D. And everything looks fine here. Here, we'll move this a little bit in line here like this. Save that. Save room data, because we saved that room. And actually, I don't need to look at it, but I will go ahead and let, okay, commented out some updated code. And I kind of like to, sometimes I like to comment it out, but then go ahead and push it to GitHub, really, because it's not just like a regular Git. It's not local Git. I should learn how to use Git, though, so that I don't need to use GitHub. But I actually wanted this up online for people to look at if they wanted to look at it, because everything in here is kind of an open book, basically. Literally an open program here. So okay. Now I am going to end it at 3, and I've decided that I was going to go ahead and limit it to 3 hours instead of 4 hours. So it's going to be like this every day, other than the fact of me getting straight to work and getting in here on time. 11 a.m. my time, which is like 4 o'clock UK time, I believe. And you can extrapolate from that. If you want to say India time, it'd be 4 o'clock plus 3, it'd be 7. That'd be 7:30. So India time would be 7:30. UK time it would be 4 o'clock. And East Coast US time, it'll be 11 a.m. So 11 a.m. So go from 11 a.m. to 12:30, and then I break for an hour to 1:30, and then 1:30 to 3 o'clock for the second half. And I should be doing a lot more work starting tomorrow. So I got that. I did do the little template thing that ChatGPT came up with, and I was able to get that done in about 15 minutes. That is actually writing some of the data and stuff in there. It isn't quite 10 minutes, but it's at least better than a couple of weeks worth, And so it should be a limited amount of time that it takes. It doesn't mean the extra like preliminary work. I'm gonna save it, so I won't have anything saved up to that point. But I'm just gonna save it on the end of my notes, which is 246 pages because there's just a ton of notes. It's all unorganized and stuff. I'm sure it'll cause me problems later, but you know, and then that's the way that goes. Anyways, let's get back to this. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is I actually want to remove this. So let's remove old metadata function. Okay. Uh, create meta meta uh, save meta data for room. Okay. No. Create meta. Oh, create new meta file. Create new meta file. Okay. This is actually obviously the one here. And actually, this is just going to be like one line, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to do the same. Get room children. If file exists. Else. That's interesting. Because now, I don't need an else. It doesn't exist. Don't save it. That isn't going to work either. I'll say, let's do something else. Let's go ahead and chunk this out and chunk this out. And let's go ahead and chunk this out. And let's go ahead and back this up like so. On save button pressed, save metadata. Oh, that's save room data. This is save metadata. Okay, save metadata for room. Um, create new meta file. Okay. We don't need create new meta file anymore. Plus. And let's do one more little thing here. Let's go ahead and let's move this guy around. Let's move him over here. Let's save that. Let's save room data. Okay, scene, reload, save scene. Everything's good. That's still there. That's still fine. Everything is fine. That's cool because that kind of saves me some more. Control F save. No. Control find. Save metadata for room. See, I mean, look at that. I don't need this. I'm using the same variable file name, but that's okay. This uses the meta extension. You can actually delete that. You can actually delete that. Delete that. Okay. Now, I haven't put the semicolons or anything yet in here, so I might start doing that soon. It's because I want to. Because it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. I mean, it's my source code and I will format like I want to. Okay. Okay, so everything looks like okay. Metadata for room, and see, now it's only one thing. It just reduced all of it just reduced that code. So now we have create new project file, which I haven't messed with yet. Create new project file. I don't need to create new project. In fact, look, we already now. I think ChatGPT actually came up with this, but so cam X, cam Y, zoom X, zoom Y, right, 0 and 1 respectively. So I set them. If the camera's there, add the X and Y position, add the zoom Y position, and then we're save the data out, and the data comes out as a string, and then we convert that and we store that as a string. Layout tool data directory plus file name. Create new project file. Now, I guess okay. So I guess I should probably call this not create new project file, but save project file. Do it like that. And call it save project file. Let's say in save project file. That. Okay. So what does this do? Okay, project file name is the layout tool data directory plus the file name, which is whatever I decide to give it. And it'll be a JSON file as well. And it'll probably be just called project or something. So I'll probably just name it manually because I don't have a file browser or anything. So we'll just I'll set a maybe what I'll do is I'll set a class level variable called project file name, and so that later on if I want to add a file browser for a name to save, then I can do that, and I can just set that to this file name. Yeah, like I'll do like project name or something. Okay, so that tool plus file name is if it doesn't exist, I don't need that. That. So we haven't started this yet. I'll just leave that. Project file. Get file access that get open error equals okay. Store string. Project file close. Okay, it's pretty straightforward, right? Um, and then I guess I need to do this. I need to do this at the top of the function. I need to do it before I save any other metadata. That way, okay. So let's give this to ChatGPT and ask it its opinion or its thought about it. Okay, so the new project file camera saves in this, and I'm going to call it right when you save button before saving anything else, so that in the future if I decide to put the metadata into the project file, um, before you save anything. Before you save anything else, I guess that's it. Clean approach. Calling save project file at the start of your save button logic ensures the camera state is written first before any room position or other metadata. That way your project files reflects the latest camera position and zoom at the one with easier saves. Or create overwrite. You don't need any extra checks. You can even extend it later to include other project-wide settings if you want to save things like grid snap. Last selected tool or UI state, all in the same JSON. Yes. Yes, and I might even save the room metadata into that file. Save all the we'll say save all the rooms metadata, all the rooms apostrophe metadata into that file. Make the project a single file authoritative snapshot of the layout tool state. Only one file instead of juggling individual metadata files. Easier to manage, versioning, backups. You can just copy one file. You can store camera, room positions, and feature settings all together. Yes, I do. Yeah. As a quick question, even though I'm not doing it right this second, would I store JSON as separate, the rooms as separate JSON objects? Or do I want one large JSON object as maybe an array? I would think separate objects would be simpler. But each has pros and cons. This is layout, project file, there's a breakdown. Separate objects for each room, dictionary keyed by file name. You look up or update a single room by file name. No risk of order issues. Dictionary keys are explicit. Clean for partial saves or updates in the future. Con, slightly larger JSON if file names are long. Negligible for layout tool. Array of room objects. Conceptually simple list of rooms. Can maintain a specific order if that matters. You have to search the array to find a room by file name, linear search, if you want to update one. Slightly more overhead when updating a single room. For your layout tool, I'll go with option 1, separate objects keyed by file name. It's simpler to manage and update per room without iterating an array. Later, if you want to add more metadata per room. Oh, it's talking about doing a dictionary in the JSON. So room1.json would be like that, and then yeah, it could be keyed by file name though. That would probably be not a bad idea. I might do that. I might do that sooner rather than later. Not today, obviously. Maybe not even this week. I'm not sure. But I do it pretty soon where I go ahead and save that anyways, and then I'll transition. In other words, I'll have it create the JSON for all the room datas, and then I'll have it save it in the file, and then I'll have it also load, and eventually, anyways, move off to it. No, that's okay for right now. I'm still focusing on the camera. Just a minute. Okay. So I'm gonna do a thing where okay, say project file. All right. And then I also have to do the load part of it too. Load. I should also have a set camera state as well, huh? Doesn't look like I'll get to that today. Not that it's that long, because I could just do this same thing where um I guess I guess I need some class level variables for these camera these camera positions, camera and zoom values. Um, I'll worry about that later when loading. I'll get to saving, and then when it's done saving, then okay. So and this is not even using an extension, so I'm gonna have to give it the full extension and everything. So um, here, let's do this. Here, I can do this right here at this level because we can do that here. So var project name. Let's see. Do I want to file name? I'm not sure. Do I want to like this? Does the file name directly? It actually doesn't meta path. All right. Um, project file name, project name. What do I call it? Project path. Maybe I should call this project path. Let's call this path. That, and then let's call this path as well. Path. Okay. Project file name. Equals. I guess I could just hard code it, right? I should just hard code it. Um, and basically, I'm going to use it at the save thing. I'll pass it in. I'll set it, and I'll pass it into the function. I can do it directly here, but I'm doing this on purpose so that when I want to, like I said, have a file browser later. So that should pretty much do that. I got 5 minutes left. I gotta hurry here. Project file name equals project.json. That okay. And now project file name isn't used here. It's going to be used in the save. So save meta. Go down to save meta. Okay. Okay, I can do it up here, I think. Maybe I should do it. I should do it at the top of the function, shouldn't I? I'm gonna do it at the top of the function. We're gonna call this project file name equals. No. I already said the project file name, didn't I? I kind of hard coded it essentially. Project.json. Okay. Save. I would say this. This dot save. Project file. Project file name. That. Oh, it's gotta be self, right? Self. I keep forgetting. Okay, so it's going to save the file name. Now, of course, um, it does 0. So, in other words, if it doesn't exist, um, and it most likely will just start at 00. It doesn't really matter. I'll look at the file here in just a second. I'll go ahead and let's just go ahead and test it out now, and then I'll call it a day here. So let's go ahead and just say save room data. Okay. Now, let's go in here and let's go to now. Um, okay, there's 217 items. Excellent. 217 is probably fine. Okay, right? And I don't have anything that's like project. Right, that would be up by itself anyways. Okay, let's go layout tool data. Now, okay. Oh, what? Oh, huh, interesting. Not right. What's not right? Oh, I bet 210. See, and then this is gonna be 213. It already has the extra README, but then it also has the project file in here. So let's go down to the project file and see what it looks like. Why? Why is what's this extra data? Oop, it's not in here, is it? So why did it save an extra? Let's open this up first to make sure that there's not something wrong here. Look, um, I don't know why it did that. Why did it do that? Why did this? Why did it do metadata? Okay, something not right here. And make sure everything's saved here. Save room data. Did it do it again? Two hundred 12 items. Okay. Something is going on. Okay. Okay, there's no double metadata in here. I'm not sure why it did that. Where is project? Okay, something not right. Did I not save it? Project file. Okay, so what's okay, so I have to figure out what the problem is, I guess. Find file name. Print project path. No. Status. Status of project path. Okay. What's the problem? Project path not there. Okay. Path. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and reload save scene. Okay. Save room data. Okay. Go into here. 213. Oh, there it is. There it is. So what did I do? I just called save again. All right. And okay. And that's the default position. And I have to work on loading later. So that'll do it for today, I think. So tomorrow we'll get to loading the position, and then maybe we will add a save button to the app so that it will save everything. It'll call the same function, but I'll have it linked to a button in the actual running scene that ways. And that way, once I do save and load, I can change the contents of the position and stuff, and see what it looks like and see that it does that. And that way I can. Anyways, that should be about do it. Okay, good. Good job, everyone. Special thanks to me for being me. Okay. So yeah. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll get some more room stuff done. Tomorrow I'll get to work. I'll be on time, and then the layout tool will add those extra things. We'll add the save stuff, the save button, load button, and that way I can zoom it out and I can save it, zoom it in, save it, whatever. And yeah, so that should be okay. Okay, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh, that's just okay. Reload save scene. And it's good there, and then save room data. That should be fine. Nothing happened because there wasn't anything changed. Okay, good. I guess we're done, and let me go ahead and switch off. Thanks, Rook, and thanks everyone else for actually popping in here when you did, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching part 2.